Today's paint is not a Daniel Smith. What's up friends, Liron here. Thank you for joining me in another episode of The Paint Show. And today, for the first time ever, we're looking at a Winsor Newton artist grade watercolor tube, which is the Winsor Green blue shade. As some of you know, I have a lot of other Winsor Newton Cutman tubes, and this is the first one I get that's actually the Winsor Newton mainline, the artist grade paints, and so I'm really excited to try it out for the first time. I heard they're really good compared to the other major brands, and it's supposed to be really high quality. This tube is made in France, which is really cool, I think. And this is literally the first time that we're looking at a paint that it's the first time for me trying it out as well. So this is called Winsor Green, but the thing is that it's just Winsor Newtons historically have been calling their Phthalos Winsors. So when you see Winsor Green, it's actually Phthalo Green. Okay, and they have many of those. I've written them down. They have Winsor Blue Green shade. They have Winsor Green Blue shade. They have Winsor Green Yellow shade. They have Winsor Blue Red shade. There's tons of them, and they're all Phthalos, all of them. So this one is Winsor Green blue shade. It's actually Phthalo Green. It's the first time I tried Phthalo Green. I have the Daniel Smith's Phthalo Blue, and it's really interesting for me to see how they compare. So the Phthalo Green is actually made of a mixture of copper and phthalocyanine, chlorinated phthalocyanine. So it's really similar to the Phthalo Blue composition. Now this mixture is a very stable one, and according to what I read, it's been used in many other products such as inks and coatings and plastics and even cosmetics. I read in things that aren't around the eyes. So anything that's not used close to the eyes is used here. Now it's an interesting story with the Phthalo Green in general. So emerald green was the original paint, and emerald green was highly toxic, and this one actually came out in around the 30s, at least for Winsor Newton, to replace that because it was really hazardous, and this one is not. This one's supposed to be really safe. So yeah. So according to what I know, the emerald green is discontinued by Winsor Newton. I took a look at their website, couldn't find it there. I think they stopped making it. So now it's time for some nerd stats. So the pigment here is PG7, okay? I'll put everything here, the pigment number, the color index number. Again, it's the mixture I just mentioned the copper and chlorinated phthalocyanine. It's a synthetic organic mixture. It's a series 1. It's a relatively basic pigment. It's very common, used by many people. By the way, I'll talk about it in a few moments. I'm not really that much into it. This one is, the light fastness is 1 according to the ASTM official rating. It's not some kind of an internal scale or anything like this. This actually has like a really good rating in terms of light fastness. It's transparent, non-granulating, and just like all of its other phthalo friends, it's staining. My palette has a permanent sort of shade of phthalo blue on it. So what I'm going to use it for, this is the first time I open it, and I've never had like this one, and I have to admit I'm not a big fan of cool greens. I really like the warm greens, like the sap green is a lot warmer, it has a bit more yellow in it. And even when I want to darken it, I mix it either with sepia or with ultramarine or French ultramarine, and so it just creates a relatively warm green, which I like. The cool greens I have less experience with, I will admit, and it could be interesting to see how I get to use this tube, and I'll probably update on it maybe in future episodes if it's relevant. I'll tell you if I use it. I used, I believe, which one was it? Viridian in the past in a few paintings, and I had this period where I really enjoyed Viridian, which is much cooler, and similar to this. I think it's also similar to Emerald Green, but hopefully not as toxic. But I just kind of stopped with it and went back to Sap Green and the warm greens. So it could be interesting to see how I find this. I'll definitely keep you updated. And this is it. I want to thank you for watching this episode. I'll keep making more and more of these. I really enjoy them. If you have any tubes, new or used, that you want me to review, feel free to send them over. Hit me up at this email address and let me know, and I'll tell you exactly the details. Aside from that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. I will post how this looks and how many other pigments look once I test them, or just as a demonstration. And this is it. I'll see you again in another video really soon.